How should one ask guidance from the Rebbe? So first of all, I'd like to go back a moment. The whole concept of writing to the Rebbe. The Rebbe one time said that the Eibishter put Jews in the world and he wants us to connect to Hashem. And the way to connect to Hashem, he sent us a Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation. He sent us a leader of the generation. And we connect to him. He's our head and he's our leader. And as a result, this connects us directly to Hashem. And the Rebbe said that since this is the purpose and this is the goal and the mission of every person, and one of the important ways, according to Chassidic custom, is by writing to the Rebbe. The Rebbe wrote once a note that the job of every person is to connect the Yechidus, the essence of the soul of a Jew, with the Yechidus shel Olam, with the one single person, the single being in the world, which is Hashem. Through the Yechidus, Klal is the general Yechidus, which is a Rebbe. Through Yechidus is going into a private audience with the Rebbe, and the Rebbe adds in parentheses, Efshar gam al yidei michtav, we can do it also by writing a letter. Which means writing a letter to the Rebbe is the actual idea, like going into a private audience. That which the Alter Rebbe describes in his introduction in Tanya. That idea which is the sacred concept which connects our essence, the essence of our soul with the essence of Hashem. And that is by sitting down and writing specifically with a pen and a paper, because it has to be something physical, by writing a letter to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe spoke once and said that since this is what Hashem wants, because this is one of the things of how we fulfill our purpose in this world. So at times when a person doesn't do it, then God forbid Hashem will send an issue and a problem to the person, and he realizes that he needs to seek a blessing, and a blessing he can get from the Rebbe. And he'll sit down and write to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe says, why wait for problems? Why wait for, God forbid, something to go wrong? Why don't you write the way it is, and then you won't need that? So that's the concept of writing on its own, not only to seek guidance, is one of the very important things in Chassidic lore, and even more than that, as it's brought down in the Gemara, that Misha yesh lechayla beveisai, someone who has a sick person in his house should go to the Chacham, the wise man of the generation, and ask him to pray to Hashem for him. Which means this has been the Jewish custom ever since time, ever since Moshe Rabbeinu. Presently, when one wants to find and seek guidance from the Rebbe, the most and the best way is write a letter to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe answers. How does the Rebbe answer? The Rebbe answers. The Rebbe is not limited in having to find the way we decide to answer. Many times, as we've seen in our time, when a person opens up an Yechidus Kodesh, which is a sefer of the Rebbe, which has the Rebbe's letters, and since the tzaddik puts himself in his writings, b'ashgacha praktis, by divine providence, when we open it up, we open the right place, and we see exactly the answer that pertains to us. Other times, a person can be learning a sikha of the Rebbe, or open up randomly a sikha of the Rebbe, or in the middle of learning a letter of the Rebbe, and suddenly he sees this is the answer to my question. Other times, it can come through numerous ways, which throughout history, all the time, we always saw that the Rebbe finds his own way of how he answers us. But the idea is seeking guidance is by sitting down and writing a letter and asking the Rebbe. And there's no question that when one puts himself on the side and says, I would like to ask you, the Rebbe, as a tzaddik who loves every Jew, and this is his mission in the world to help us, will definitely give that clear guidance in his way so that we have the answer and we know what to do and how to do it.